Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your November 1st through November 15th, roughly, tarot card reading. So let's dive right in. So I have shuffled and meditated on your sign and drew two animal cards, which I will start by reading from the book, and then I'll give you my intuitive 2 cents. And with these animal cards, these are just something to keep in mind as sort of an overarching thematic energy for the next couple of weeks, and also a thematic energy to keep in mind as we look at the rest of the spread. So you have the crocodile and the whale, or the whale, which came out first, and then the crocodile. And the crocodile came out reversed. And I'm gonna feel that out. But let's go ahead and read, and then I'll give you my intuitive 2 cents. The whale. Desire to delve deeper, profound peace, ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their life. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost, and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. When in balance, calm, steady, deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy, slips into old story. To bring into balance, regular self-care. So there is this sense of feeling like capable. You've been through. There's this mind sort of mind mental awareness of the fact that you have been through hardship before, and you can traverse hardship as it comes up. So there is sort of this deep wisdom sort of, and this higher perspective that's coming up as you're approaching, as you're navigating your way through what could feel like uncertain terrain, unknown terrain, not easy terrain. So there is this there is sort of this taking on the challenge, and it feels quite navigational, sort of navigating your way through some sort of challenge. And I feel like some of it feels like it was imposed upon you, like this is something, it has to be done. I have to sort of just, it's almost this buffalo energy of having to sort of walk right into the storm to get through it. And then simultaneously, it's this, and I feel like a lot of this is around career, is, but also career and sense of purpose and personal purpose. It's sort of this exciting call forward, and this momentum, and this with the crocodile as well. I feel like the combination of the two. Whale is water, but it is sort of, there's something that feels emotional about this, and also highly practical with the crocodile energy. So let me go ahead and read the whale energy. So crocodile. And it does feel like there are a lot of plates spinning to a degree. So it could be wheels turning. So a lot to think about, a lot to process. But I also feel like there's a lot of movement, of motion. Okay. The crocodile. It does feel like for some of you, and this is a bit more specific, that this could be a character, sort of a character that is kind of like keeping an eye on you. Like you're really strongly in someone's awareness. Or there's a party or a third party, or something that you're having to work with, and that's sort of what that navigational energy is coming up, sort of needing to navigate your way through something with another, and almost around another. While going full steam ahead in this direction that you, while knowing that you are heading in a direction that is truly right for you. So it's holding a lot of pieces. It's a lot of different dimensions at work here. A lot of different pieces that you're sort of having to keep in your mind's eye simultaneously. So there's multitasking. I just heard. Okay. Sorry, trying to find this. And they're both water, the crocodile and the whale. But the whale feels strongly water, and then the crocodile feels a bit more fire to me. So, and I just heard Sagittarius and Gemini. So it could be another Gemini. It could be a Sagittarius, or that could be your moon or rising. But that's sort of the energy that's coming up around this other character. There we go. Found it. It's interesting. I guess that's something that feels significant. It's almost like yeah. Okay. Let me just go ahead and read this, and then I'll dive in. Crocodile. Resting, submerging, collecting energy, cooling off. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward. Now is not the time for decisions, action, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering awareness, observing and building energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. Interesting. When in balance, wise, patient, a silent powerhouse. When out of balance, feels stuck, lashes out. To bring into balance, rest, or the Makarasana pose. Okay. So there is this. So there is sort of this preparation that's taking place, this sort of mapping things out for yourself, this coming up with a strategy, coming up with a plan as you move forward. And so, yeah, definitely navigation is coming up strongly again. But it's how to navigate your way through and to this move, to this transition. So you're in this transitional state, this very strong transitional state, it feels. And you're putting the pieces together, and you're sort of figuring out how things, how it all works, how it can all cohesively work together. And there's this process of assimilation that's taking place, of sort of assimilating. You're sort of going through it and saying, what no longer works for me anymore? What do I want to release? And then what do I want to carry with me into this next stage, into this next phase? Okay, so let's keep this in mind. There's also this strong reflective nature to this card. There's this this reflection that's happening. This like your eyes are wide open, and you're looking at you're taking stock, you're analyzing the possibilities, and the situation. I just heard you're analyzing the situation about sort of which route to take forward. So it's sort of this question of how to get to where you want to go, and also how to manage your responsibilities. I just heard. Okay, so let me put this down. So this is the focal point for the reading, and 3 cards wanted to come out. We have the 8. Okay, so we haven't quite made this this move, or this it's in process. It's in process. And then we have the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Death card in reverse. And then in the recent past, we have the 6. Interesting, Sagittarius also got this card right here in this placement. So Sagittarius is definitely a video to potentially check out. The 6 of Swords reversed. Anchoring the spread, we have the Fool reversed. That's beautiful. And then here in the near future, we have the 4 of Cups reversed. Strong evaluation energy. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. And then also, this is your general energy as well, the Tower. So there has been a shakeup. There's been a change. There's something that you're like, you're mixing things up. You're shaking things up. And then in your environment, we have the Father of Wands reversed. And then in Hopes and Fears, we have the Son of Pentacles reversed. And then in mid-November, we have the 3 of Swords reversed and the Ace of Wands. Oh, this is beautiful. And then for these readings, I'm trying pulling one card from Colette Baron Reed's The Good Tarot, which is a beautiful deck. Let me know if you guys like this. And you have the 9 of Fire. That's amazing. So this is in the traditional tarot. The 9 of Wands. Okay. So this dynamic trio here. So yeah, there's this anticipation. There's a lot of anticipation with these cards, and structure and planning and sort of I just heard downsizing. So there is downsizing and expanding. So it's sort of this, this feels like this sort of like filtration process to a degree of minimalism is almost coming up with this, or this minimalistic quality of how sort of what can you let go of, and then what do you want to hold on to, and it feels as though it's almost as there are some things that you feel right now are not in your control, and it feels more circumstantial. But whatever that is, whatever the circumstance is that something, this breaking out of this chrysalis, this breaking out of your own chrysalis, that is a given. That is going to happen. You will break through. You will get to where you're meant to go. And whatever challenges you're faced with, you know that you will get to the other side of it, and you will be, I just heard, born again, transformed, and I just heard born anew. So there is this true, I just heard better than ever. So there is this true transformation that's taking place. And the Fool, anchoring the spread, reversed, it is pointing to this anticipation of this new beginning, of this new fresh start that you could feel, that you felt is coming for some time. And you sort of have been anticipating these steps forward. And then in the recent past, I feel like it's like you've made major strides to, you've made major strides. There's major progress towards whatever this endeavor is, whatever this change, this transition is, you're really moving through it. You're really moving through it, and you're making a lot of progress. And it's this question of uncertainty. So there are certain variables or things that that you can't quite that you can't anticipate, that you can't predict, but it really feels like new territory, that you're just sort of, you're stepping into new territory, and there is this awareness of how you can plan accordingly for that, and also how you can embrace, release, and accept that. So there's this process, and it feels like a healing process to a degree, of acceptance as a means to unload what you don't want to carry with you. So this transition, it feels like this temperance energy, this sort of this purifying energy. It's raining, if you can hear. It's so beautiful. This is my favorite weather, I think. And I am seeing some sort of this self-protectiveness, and I feel like it's around the heart space. And it feels as though you're conscious of this. This is something that, and I keep wanting to say Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius. So there is this sort of I just heard corrective. So there's something corrective that is taking place. So something is correcting itself. And you feel it in your heart space. And Death card reversed is carrying us directly into the Four of Cups reversed. So there is this coming out of, in the near future, this coming out of this state of I just heard inaction, and into this state of doing. And purification here in the near future, in the next couple of weeks, it still feels like it's coming up strong. It feels like an emotional purification. So it's almost as if you're sweating it all out. So like you're through this action of doing, through this doing and this, this moving with this momentum, you're feeling it all, but you're releasing, you're purifying, and you're doing in spite of perhaps these emotions. So nothing's holding you back. It feels like the sensation is almost that your heart is being pulled backwards a little bit. But the practical side and that vision, that third eye, is heading you in this forward direction. That is, and this is, so there is sort of this heaviness of heart to a degree for some of you, I feel, around something or some area, and you're accepting that. You're sort of like, I accept that, but I am still moving forward. I'm still going with this flow. I'm still allowing the current of what I already set up in place and sort of, what I'm called to do, carry me through this process. So there's this releasing of resistance that's taking place over the next couple of weeks, this releasing of resistance. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed, crowning the spread. So I feel like there's this, there are a lot of resources, and there's this resources of all kind, emotional resources, and also it feels connected to career, tangible resources coming in that is also calling you forward. I just heard following the money. So it's this thing that's proving to be in many ways quite therapeutic. this support of your career or following the money or how you're providing. There's something quite supportive about it for you. You're following that creativity. You're following that what is already in place. So it feels like almost as if there's some sort of routine to a degree as you're deciding what to release and what to let go of as you're moving forward. But there's almost like this basic foundation that's in place, these little routine things that are proving to be incredibly supportive and a great resource for you. And then I also do feel for some of you that this is literally you're saying yes to opportunities as they're coming up. You're saying yes to you're saying yes to potential, and you're saying yes to, it feels like received payment. So someone's paying you for services or paying you to there's some sort of payment or exchange of resources that is also calling you forward. And so there is this, and it feels lighthearted. It feels lighter than typical pentacle energy with this, and luxurious. It almost feels like there is this little, it could be even a little respite in there, and that's sort of when we see this reflective, with a reflective purpose, sort of this little, this moment, this space that you give yourself, this time to reflect and evaluate, that feels nurturing and supportive and delicious, I just heard. So general energy, we have this shakeup. We have this letting things burn away, letting it fall away, and making space for this new growth, which we see up top here in mid-November coming up. So we have the Father of Wands reverse, and the Tower wants me to say a little bit more about it. I just heard it's a matter of fact. So whatever this is that you're accepting, it's a matter of fact. It's something that you're like, this is just the way this is, and I'm accepting this, and this shakeup is taking place because it's just a matter of fact. This is just what this is. And then the Father of Wands in your environment is coming forward. And really, it feels like you are taking the reins where you can, and then you're accepting what is out of your control to a degree. But there is this empowerment that's taking place, and sort of this in your environment, you're really setting yourself up to feel empowered. You're setting yourself up. You're going through the motions, which you know will empower you, which you know will support you. And it's like, you know it. You know what is going to serve you. You know what is going to help you move through this change, this transformation. And it's a matter of transmutation. So transmuting whatever this experience has been, whatever sort of this stuff that you're releasing, transmuting it and assimilating these experiences, so everything's more digestible, so everything is a bit more satisfying. And I heard easier to accept, easier to swallow. And in your environment, there is this creativity that's coming in. With the Father of Wands, there's this waiting that the Cobra represents, this sort of waiting, this teacher energy, this mentor energy, and this stillness. That's sort of this stillness sitting over this entire, this like creative powerhouse. So I feel for many of you that this is you, or this could be a mentor in your environment, or someone supportive, or something supportive in your environment that feels so creatively strong. And it's like, you know you recognize the creativity that exists within you or within this passion or this project or this other person. But there's something very fully embodied and inspiring and quite a guiding light. Just knowing that this potential, this creative potential, is strong and available to you. And that in itself is wildly empowering and brings you great courage and comfort. So in hopes and fears, we have the Son of Pentacles reversed. And I just heard loss. So there is this fear around what you're letting go of. There is this fear around loss or missing out, I just heard. This feels like this much gentler energy. It's a slower moving energy, a younger energy. And it's and I'm feeling some disappointment around whatever this around this card. It reminds me so much of the Five of Cups, sort of where there's some disappointment, the head sort of hanging low a little bit, and this matter of like, okay, I just don't want to miss out. I just don't want to miss out. And this feels like it's part of the process of surrender and acceptance. I just heard matter of fact again, matter of fact. So this is just part of this process. And acceptance is so encouraged and supported with this whale and crocodile energy. It's this conscious energy that is really strong and it feels as though that this is temporary, and you'll navigate your way through it beautifully, I just heard. But it's just challenging terrain. It's just challenging terrain. And we see sort of with the Three of Swords, so there is this heal, this is reverse, and there's this healing that's happening rapidly, especially with whatever this movement is it feels like it initiates this rapid healing that sort of sorts out all of these worries. You start to work with these new concrete schedules and dynamics and placement and all of these. You start to see it in your reality, and you realize, everything is just fine. I'm exactly where I want to be, and this opportunity springs up. So there is this new potential, this new possibility, this new focus, and this new growth, this immense new growth. This feels very profound, and it feels both internal and external. So we're seeing sort of this reflection of sort of this internal growth in your that you've cultivated within yourself, and you're going to, over the next couple of weeks, start to see that show up in an opportunity coming forward for you that feels really fulfilling and in alignment with who you are and where you're going. And for some of you, I feel this could be romantic, but definitely creative, and it's fire, that wand energy. So Aries, and we have that, all the fire signs around this card, sort of a lot of that live wire energy. And it could also be a circumstance, an environment, as you're stepping into this live wire, very creative, lots of communication flying around, lots of activity that is exciting, I just heard. So there is this healing that's taking place, this healing, And I just heard, and getting braver. That's taking place here, and it feels like right now, and then in the next couple of weeks, we're, you know, planning and then there is this opportunity, this movement forward, this progress. So the 9 of Fire, I'm going to read this from the book, and this is just something to keep in mind, sort of something for you to walk away with today and keep in your mind's eye. These cards are like the book is sort of written as affirmations, and it's just beautiful. So this should sum this up for us. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, this is interesting. This is exactly sort of what we're talking about. The 9 of Fire, caution, uncertainty, reevaluating circumstances. So there is this sort of this taking stock of things, this evaluation of what you're letting go of, what you're bringing with you, and also how everything fits together. Sort of what is this new dynamic, this new blueprint that you're creating in your life? How are you going to get this, you know, this clock to tick? I just heard. I need to stop, wait, and look around me before proceeding further. My sense of uncertainty is my inner wisdom telling me to bring illumination to my situation, to allow insights to arise and guide me before I take my next step. Questioning is good. I will look carefully to see if a different path may be right for me at this point. So yeah, there's this evaluation taking place. There is sort of this looking at all the pieces. There is this consciousness, this keeping your eyes open as you navigate your way through this time, this illumination that's taking place. So you can choose the appropriate path forward for you. And I do feel like you're in motion. So there is a current, there is sort of this resonance, this call that is pulling you forward. And I would follow that call. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. Check out your rising and your moon sign. I love you so much. I'll be with you in a couple of weeks with the mid-November readings. And like, subscribe. I appreciate it so much. Comment. It's the sweetest thing. And I love you with all my heart. All right, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.